How goofy am I willing to look just to be safe? Hey there, bike rider. Thanks for tuning in to Cyclecraft TV. I guess the answer to the question is I'm willing to look pretty goofy to stay safe. Maybe not as goofy as this, but I digress. So recently, my Bell and Giro helmet rep was in the shop showing us product for the 2025 lineup. And you know, he's got all his samples in his sample case, and he had a helmet that he wasn't even showing us because we don't really carry a lot of commuter product here in the shop. However, as you might know, I'm a pretty avid bike commuter. I ride my bike back and forth to work. It's an e-bike actually. And as such, I'm always looking for an edge to be safe when I'm riding my bike in terms of equipment and visibility and that sort of thing. So he's going through the samples, and off on the side I see one that he wasn't showing us. It caught my eye for a couple of reasons I'll show you in a minute. Anyway, so I asked him, hey Mark, what's up with that helmet? And he said, oh, that's our Ethos MIPS commuter helmet. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Why don't you tell me more about that? So he took out the sample and he showed me some of the features on it. And I said, wow, order me one of those. So about a month and a half later, one showed up. Now, he didn't bill me for it. He didn't actually charge me. He said, here, you can try this out. Now, this is not a sponsored video in any way, shape, or form. I was not paid. They don't know I'm doing this. So all of the opinions about this are going to be my own. And I wanted to share that with you in case that you wanted one of these helmets for yourself. If you're a bike commuter, or you just want to have some of the safety features that are in this helmet that you won't find in other helmets, might be of interest. So keep looking. Keep in mind, this is going to be a two-part review. Part one is I'm just going to go through the helmet. I'm going to show you some of the features. And then part two is going to be trying the helmet out in the real world. I'll use it in the light, I'll use it in the dark, and I'll give you my impressions on what I think is great or not great about this helmet. So let's go through it. It's a pretty typical bike helmet that you'll find these days, good quality bike helmet anyway. It starts with a EPS or expanded polystyrene foam helmet, and covered with a hard shell plastic. And it's what's called an in-mold process. So what that means is that the foam is actually bonded onto the plastic part of the helmet. It's also a full coverage helmet. You can actually see the plastic covers all the way around the bottom of the helmet. So it's really durable. One of the things I like about this is the quality of the helmet. Of course, some of the standard features that you'll see inside any Bell or Giro helmet, they've got the rock lock adjuster on the back. That's the piece that actually will hold the helmet level on your head, grabbing on the back of your head, and a pretty traditional strap system that is adjustable to keep the helmet level on your head. It also features this nifty new magnetic chin strap. And if you can see that there. So that's a nice feature. That makes the helmet really easy to buckle on and off, just like so. Okay. Now, as mentioned before, one of the features in this helmet is what's called the MIPS system. And if you can see that in there. So this plastic piece in here, that's the actual MIPS feature that's in the helmet. And here's what MIPS is. MIPS is a multi-directional impact protection system. It's a helmet technology designed to enhance protection during angled impacts, such as you see when you fall off your bike. Traditional helmets are made to protect against direct linear impacts, but MIPS adds an extra layer inside the helmet that allows a small amount of rotational movement. When an impact occurs, this layer moves slightly, allowing the helmet to absorb some of the rotational forces that would otherwise be transmitted to your brain. This reduces the risk of head injuries caused by rotational motion, which is a common result of angled impacts during activities like cycling, skiing, or motorbiking. So that's MIPS, multi-directional impact protection system. And I have actually had an opportunity to use a MIPS system in another helmet. I crashed on my road bike, and I believe it or not, when I hit the ground, you know, I could feel the impact. You can feel the helmet actually crushing a little bit, but also that rotational movement of the helmet. I could actually feel my head moving inside the helmet. Now, that's one thing that you really need to be aware of, is that for this MIPS system to work, the helmet has to be fitted properly on your head. So that means that it's either not too big or too small, and the helmet is adjusted so that your helmet has good firm contact with that MIPS membrane in there, so that in a crash, everything is going to work properly and move. So those are the standard helmet features that you'll find on this. It's also the number of vents. It's not a super ventilated helmet, which, believe it or not, is actually good if you're using the helmet year round. You don't need a ton of venting on the helmet, just enough in the summertime to keep you comfortable. And this helmet seems adequately vented. from my perspective. So here's where some of the magic parts come in for the commuter part of the helmet. In addition to having your standard helmet features in there, you've got one particularly fun thing is that it's got these lights. If you can see that it's got the built-in lights in the front and in the back. And here's how all that works. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to press that button and turn it on. It beeps, and there it is. You can see that all the lights are flashing in the front and the back. Pretty nice. Now, one of the other cool features that comes with the bike is this handlebar mounted remote control. And that's this piece right here. And what's nice about this is that you can actually operate the lights on your helmet from your handlebar. Right here in the center is your on-off switch, but this also controls the modes. And the helmet, I think it's 4 modes. All right, so if I press that center button, changes the flash pattern. If I press it again, the light goes on steady. If I press it again, it goes on steady, but even brighter. And this is pretty bright. You'll be very visible when you're wearing this helmet. And then it goes back to that flash mode. Now, the other nifty thing about this is that you can see on this controller, it's got left and right. And you got it, it's got turn signals. This is one of the things that really attracted me to this helmet, was the ability to actually signal people when you're getting ready to make a turn. You press that button, and then when you're done, go ahead and press it. And it's got the beep going in there so that you remember to turn the signal off once you've made your turn. And then, of course, is our right turn. And you can see that it's also flashing in the front as well. All right, so you got that front flash. And then we go ahead and turn that off. And then also the controller, from the handlebar, you can, instead of changing your modes, you can just press and hold that button. It just turns the helmet off for you. And finally, the one thing that's also built into this helmet is the visor. Now, the visor actually can be removed from the helmet, so you're not stuck with that. You can also purchase this helmet without the visor if you don't want that. This is one of the things that I'm unsure yet if I'm going to love having that visor on there. It seems like a good idea, but I feel like I look goofy enough when I'm out on my bike and people are saying, "Oh my God, look how weird that guy looks." So the thing with the visor is that when I put this on my head, my first impression that I got was that I look like a policeman from a 1960s Godzilla movie. So I'm not sure if that's something I want to have on my head all the time. It is removable, and truthfully, I use polycarbonate protective eyewear when I ride my bike under any circumstances, so it might be a little redundant. I will say that it has a lot of really good coverage, and that may actually be a good feature. Also for night riding, if you have your dark glasses and you have to take those off, you still have the clear protection. It keeps you from getting hit in the face with bugs and sand and grit and stones and that sort of thing. Just another couple of items to note. You do your charging through that port right there. See if you can see that. That's the charging port right next to the on-off switch. You want to make sure you have that down tight. It comes with a USB charging cord, but you would need to use a standard USB charging block. We all probably have 1,000 of them at home from all the various devices that we've purchased over the years. So it's a USB-C to USB-A, and that charges the helmet. I don't have any idea what the battery capacity is yet. I haven't used this in the real world yet. We're going to actually test that to see how long the battery lasts. The other things that it comes with are you've got the 3 rubber bands for different size handlebars. So for getting the controller attached to your handlebar, you've got everything you need right there. So that's the helmet in a nutshell. I mean, I like the way it looks, other than I'm not sure about the visor yet. Tell me in the comments below what you think about the visor. Would you use the visor or not? Would you even wear a helmet like this, depending on how you ride your bike? Your general thoughts about it and how it looks. So that's pretty much the whole helmet in a nutshell. I am going to make a second video of using the helmet in the real world. I will use it to go back and forth to work. I'm going to try it in the light, try it in the dark, and see how it all goes. But I'm kind of excited about this. As safe as I can get on the road is something I definitely want to be. So make sure to tune in next time. If you are not a subscriber already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, so when the new episodes come out, you'll be aware of that. And I'd really appreciate a little thumbs up on the video if you made it this far into it. We will see you next time on Cyclecraft TV. And remember, keep that rubber side down.